After Wednesday's results in the Premier League, Spurs are now down to 7th in the Premier League table in a Europa Conference League spot. All of the team news ahead of the Manchester United game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Thursday. Ryan Mason has said he wants a reaction, and reports are stating that Tottenham wanted Antonio Conte to stay until the end of the season, but the Italian boss decided he didn't want to return to the club after his rant after the Southampton draw. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Let's start by talking about the results in the Premier League from Wednesday evening. Nottingham Forest 3, Brighton 1, Chelsea 0, Brentford 2, West Ham United 1, Liverpool 2, and champions Manchester City beating our North London rivals Arsenal 4-1 at the Etihad Stadium. 3 games will take place in the Premier League on Thursday. Everton will face Newcastle, Southampton against Bournemouth, and then of course it is our game, Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United. So after Wednesday's results, Tottenham Hotspur are now down to 7th in the Premier League table. We are currently in a Europa Conference League spot. We have played 32 matches. We have won 16, drawn 5 and lost 11. We have a goal difference of +7. We have 53 points. Liverpool have now played the same amount of games as us, 32. They also have 53 points, but they have a more superior goal difference with +22. So Spurs will face Manchester United in the Premier League at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Thursday evening, 8:15 p.m. kickoff. The team news: Tottenham goalkeeper Hugo Lloris is a doubt due to a hip injury, which meant he was replaced at half-time on Sunday. Ben Davies and Clement Lenglet are back in training after respective hamstring and foot issues, whilst Lucas Moura returns from suspension. Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes rolled his ankle during Sunday's FA Cup semi-final, but has not been ruled out by manager Erik ten Hag. Captain Harry Maguire is available after a one-match FA Cup ban. Garnacho, Martinez, McTominay, Van der Beek and Varane all remain out for Manchester United. Now, ahead of the Manchester United game in the Premier League on Thursday, acting head coach Ryan Mason said he wants a reaction. Absolutely a reaction. Obviously, Sunday was disappointing for us, and I would hope and expect there is a reaction from not only the players, but everyone in the building and everyone involved in the club as well. Mason then went on to say, naturally, regardless of how you lose a game, you want a reaction, but obviously in the manner that we did lose and the scoreline, we want it even more. To get that, we need to be together. We need to understand the situation, to be humble in our approach, but absolutely in our belief that we can get a result and cause Manchester United problems in our own stadium in front of our own fans. The Evening Standard have just published a predicted lineup, and this is how they think Ryan Mason will set up against Manchester United. Forster in goal, the back three of Romero, Dyer and Longley. The wing-backs, Pedro Porro and Ivan Perisic. In midfield, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Oliver Skipp. And then up front, Richarlison, Son and Kane. Now, a report from the Daily Mail. They are stating that Daniel Levy wanted Antonio Conte to stay as Tottenham manager, but he insisted he wasn't coming back from Italy following his explosive rant at his players and employers, leaving Spurs with no successor. The report states that Tottenham Hotspur reportedly wanted Antonio Conte to stay on as manager until the end of the season, despite his March exit coming via an official mutual agreement. Conte left the North London side in a storm shortly after a 3-3 draw at Southampton, where his side blew a 2-goal lead late on to draw with the Saints, who are rooted to the bottom of the Premier League table. And according to the Sun newspaper, while Chairman Daniel Levy was prepared for Antonio Conte to leave at the end of the season, following the expiry of his contract, he wasn't ready for the Italian boss to make a sudden exit. A report from The Sun adds that Daniel Levy was aware of the potential disaster that could unfold without a replacement for Antonio Conte. The former Chelsea manager's assistant Christian Stellini was instead put in charge initially until the end of the season, and it led to a disastrous run of just one win in 4 games. Also in this report, it says that Spurs are still in search of a new manager, with Rams boss Will Still now in contention, although ex-Bayern Munich boss Julian Nagelsmann remains favourite for the post at Tottenham Hotspur. Now, my thoughts on these stories in this episode. Let's start by talking about the last few days. Of course, the Newcastle game, losing 6-1 in the manner that we did. Unbelievable. Going 1-0 down after just 61 seconds, and then all of a sudden, it was 5-0 after 21 minutes. It was embarrassing. I tell you what, we need a reaction, a massive, massive reaction against Manchester United on Thursday. I do think the atmosphere will be slightly better at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium under Ryan Mason rather than Christian Stellini. I think a lot of us Spurs fans feel why on earth did Stellini stay on after Antonio Conte left. It was a very, very unusual decision in my opinion. I expected Ryan Mason to take charge when Antonio Conte left, or bring in a Harry Redknapp, or bring in, dare I say it, Maurizio Pochettino is just about to be appointed the next Chelsea boss, which is devastating for a lot of us. But when you look at the league position now, Liverpool won. Luckily, Brighton lost, but they've got a couple of games in hand over us. We are now sitting in a Europa Conference League spot in 7th place in the Premier League, and we have 2 extremely difficult games coming up. One on Thursday against United, and then, of course, on Sunday away at Liverpool at Anfield, where we very, very rarely get anything in our history. It's a very, very difficult place to go. Ryan Mason said he wants a reaction. Every single fan deserves a reaction. We deserve those players to really show passion and a fight on Thursday evening and try and get something out of this game against Manchester United. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but they have to give everything. The performance was so poor on Sunday from a lot of those players, and I know a lot of people have said, when I think the 3rd or 4th goal went in, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg kind of laughed as if to say, what on earth's going on? You then saw players like Richarlison swapping shirts after the game when we just lost 6-1. That is really not what us fans want to see, particularly the 3,209 fans that made the trip to St James's Park on Sunday. That is completely unacceptable. You do not expect to be travelling all of that way up the country to see the players just giving up. And, after 21 minutes, it was embarrassing to be 5-0. So a reaction is what we need. I think a lot of Spurs fans would probably agree with me that, save your apologies, save the words. We want to see the action on the pitch. It'll be interesting to see how Ryan Mason sets up, whether he changes any of the personnel, whether the likes of Dan Juma get any game time instead of Kulusevski or Richarlison. So that'd be interesting. And whether he goes with a back 3 that Antonio Conte played for most of the season. Of course, the back 4 didn't work against Newcastle on Sunday under Stellini. So, but one thing I did notice about Sunday is that Mason kept telling Stellini what to do. It seemed like he was in charge and not Stellini. It was quite a strange scenario, really, for me. But as I say, it'll be interesting to see how he sets up. And we've got to remember, he came in a couple of years ago, and I think it's fair to say, whether you like the appointment or not, I think it's fair to say that he did a fairly decent job. And he knows what the Spurs fans expect. He knows he's played for the club. He's managed us before a couple of years ago. It is not the ideal situation, but I think we've got to make the best of it now. And as he said in the press conference, we have got to finish in the best possible spot in the Premier League table. I think top 4 is way, way beyond reach. I think it would be an absolute miracle if we got top 4. I think more realistic to go for a Europa League spot. I know a lot of people that do not want to be finishing 7th in a Europa Conference League spot. And I know a lot of people that say, well, why don't we just spend a year out of Europe and finish 8th? I tell you what, that is not what the club will want. and every single player wants to be playing in a European competition. So we've got to give everything in these remaining 6 games. It's going to be very difficult, but hopefully Ryan Mason knows what the Spurs fans expect, and he demands everything from these players on Thursday. And if we can get a positive result on Thursday, we can travel to Anfield on Sunday with a little bit more confidence than what we've got now. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.